Welcome to the Industry Angel Podcast. We hear from the best business minds across the globe. Entrepreneurs, social influencers, marketing mavens, and sales rock stars. We've got them all. Here comes your weekly dose of inspiration with your host, Ian Farah.
Welcome to episode 65 of the Industry Angel. I'm pretty excited this week. It's International Podcast Day on the 30th of September. It's an international celebration of the power of podcasts, and you can get involved. You can use the hashtag International Podcast Day so you can engage with others around the world talking about this event. You could explain to somebody what a podcast is. Get them hooked. You know I'm all about getting the UK's podcast stats up there. Why not share your favourite podcast? Tell a teammate, a co-worker, a friend. Send feedback to your favourite podcasters. Tell them thank you. Why not put a rating on Apple Podcasts or other platforms? And, you know, I'm going to take this opportunity to thank you guys for your support. You're so inspiring. And also to fellow podcasters, it's an honour to be part of your community. And thanks to Ahmed, Alexander, Jim and Millette for inviting me to be a guest on your shows this year. You absolutely rock, so thank you kindly. We're going to stay on the topic of inspiration this week, so let's hear from today's Industry Angel. Today we have six-time motivational author. Welcome to the Industry Angel, Shawn Anderson.
Man, it is awesome to be with you today, Ian. Thank you so much.
Well, you know I'm a bit upset, don't you, Shawn, because you've pedalled a bike 4,000 miles across the US twice. You've created adventures in over 40 countries, walking across Spain, Portugal, 750 miles around Shikoku in Japan, but you've literally walked past my front door across England and Ireland very recently, haven't you?
Well, I did. I had the privilege of coming over to the United Kingdom and starting at a little place like, what is it called? Tynemouth up the river. Is that right?
Well, Shawn, my friend, that I can actually look out the window and see where you started. How sad is this?
Oh my gosh, that was the cutest little town. I remember. Okay, so here I am. I'm coming up from London that first morning, you know, backpack on, ready to go, yeah. And everyone keeps saying, "Oh, you're so lucky. You have beautiful weather. Beautiful weather. This is amazing." And I'm sitting there in my mind going, "Oh my God, are you kidding? This is beautiful weather. It's cold. It's wet." And I'm going to this Tyne River mouth through the cutest little town in the world. And I'm going, man, this is going to be an amazing adventure. And it was.
So you flew to Newcastle from London?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. This is getting terrible, Shawn. We could have met, my friend. So, well, Tynemouth has a beautiful priory there, doesn't it?
Oh my God! The thing I love about the United Kingdom is everywhere you walk, England, there's history. You know, the United States doesn't know anything about history. I mean, our country might be 250 years old, but man, you can walk into churches and there's people buried inside the church that are 3 or 4 times older than our country. You know,
I've got Irish aunties older than your country.
I mean, I just love it everywhere, especially the combination of the old and the modern, and it's just such great fun. And you know, I remember starting that first walk, and I was walking along the mouth of the river back inland, and along the right side of this one particular bike path that I was walking, there were these memory benches. It was the first thing that I'm remembering as I'm picturing it now. These benches that are set along this path in memory of these different people. And I just thought, you know, that's so absolutely beautiful and awesome. And, you know, I can just imagine the people sitting on their person's bench, remembering their person, looking out over, you know, this little inlet. It's just really cool.
Yeah, that's very common. So where you were on the Tyne, I live the other side of the Tyne, and right around my coastal path are just benches all the way along, remembering people. But yeah, you often see flowers like kind of taped to the edges of them as well.
Yes, absolutely. You know, and it just was such a beautiful way to think about life, and to think not only about reasons to celebrate, but also just to appreciate the fact that we are here now. This is Ian's time. This is Shawn's time. This is the listener's time. This is our time to walk or stroll or communicate or create or build or whatever we want to do, because someday it's not going to be our time.
I love that because, we're in the kind of hustle mode at the moment, and you've been so fortunate that you've took that time out, and you must do a lot of reflection and just thinking about life across your travels, yeah?
Well, that's really why I do that. It's my chance to not only sharpen my own axe, so to speak, but it's my time to get quiet. It's this time to find the simple again in life, because life hits us so hard, so often, with so much chaos, that we start to really lose our sense of true passion and lose the purpose of why we're here, to make a difference. And so I do these walks every 8 months, really, to find my simple, to find the best version of me, because it's impossible not to walk across a beautiful, amazing, fantastic country like England and not be inspired by what I see, by the conversations that I have, and by everything that I feel. When I come back to the United States, I'm sharper, I'm brighter, and I'm more ready to live the rest of my days.
Shawn, I was talking to a guy today, and what we said was that we'd love to do something. We're round about the same age, we're probably getting a bit itchy feet, and we thought, what can we do? So what inspired you? You've walked around Japanese islands, across Europe. Where did this all come from?
Well, I've always had a sense, Ian, that, life's not forever. And, I don't want to be left taking my last breaths wishing that I would have done certain things. I don't want any I wishes left in my brain. I want to just say, man, that was an adventure, wasn't it? That was amazing. And I think that when we live with that perspective, that life isn't forever, it causes us to pause and really reflect perhaps on what it is that we want for our individual life. What is it that you want for, your business and your work and your career? And what is it that you want for your family and your relationships? And what is it that you want for your health? And what is it that you want to learn? Where is it that you want to go? What is it that you want to do? And I think when you have the answers to those questions, that in its whole allows you to have this vision for what is the best life you could live. Then we can create an action plan to go out and live that vision. And that's truly all I'm doing. I love travel. I love exercise. I love meeting new people. I love creating adventures. So this works for me really well.
Now, there's going to be people listening, and I'm one of them, how can you do this? How can you fund this? What happens? Do people sponsor you? Do you get organizations to support you with this?
I've got one organization that I believe in very, very much that supports me, and it's called Shawn Anderson. And I've worked super, super hard in my life, and I've been able to create enough success that I have the blessing to be able to go and do these adventures. And I definitely realize that I'm lucky, but we all have luck inside us. We all do. When you have a vision that's so strong that it ignites your passion and your purpose so that you don't choose to ever quit or give up, you can create what you want to create. I truly, truly believe that from the bottom of my heart. I might have had 50 businesses, 50 possibilities that failed in my life, but I had a couple that were successful enough that it's allowed me the cushion to be able to now live the life that I love.
And what about the book, Shawn? When do you write? Is it when you're away? Do things come to your mind and you've got a little notepad and a book? And when you retire for the evening, are you scribbling away, or is it something where you sit down in front of a PC and knock it out?
Well, a couple of things on that. One, you can't write a book unless you create content. And so certainly these adventures are my content producers. Many years ago, I might not have had the confidence to be able to stand on a stage or to write something because I was telling the stories of other people. And then I just started to saying, I need to tell my own stories. And so certainly a hike like this allows me to be able to create content, because now my stories are meaningful and inspirational and purposeful. The second thing is, I've been writing every single day for probably the last 10 years. I believe that a life worth living is a life worth recording. So I am a intense journal writer, just so I help not only polish my craft as a writer, but I also polish my thinking and my feelings as a human being.
I love that. So when you're writing your journal, what does that look like? Do you give yourself? Is it every day? Do you write the same sort of, the same format of text, or do you just write ideas?
first off, I haven't missed a day in writing in 10 years. I mean, I will write.
Wow.
I will write. I mean, because in order to really stay on track with something, I believe you've got to be consistent about it. And the day that don't write, it's easier not to write the next day and think that you could catch up. So it's just a
Yeah.
part of what I do. Maybe I write for only 10 minutes. Maybe I write for 30 minutes. It's about that particular day. It's about what I experienced, what I lived, what I felt, what I thought, how I evolved, any awareness issues that might have struck me. It's me celebrating life in this great mystery that we've been privileged to live. That's what I believe journal writing is.
It's interesting that you mentioned about needing content, and I've mentioned a few times on this show about the 22-year-old life coach scenario where they don't have any experience to kind of talk from. So your content is provided around your adventures. So thinking about that, what is it that you haven't done that you still want to do?
Well, that's a great question. There's so many. First off, I might be in California in the United States right now, and this might be my specific address, but I'm really a resident of this whole earth. And even though I've traveled over 40 plus countries, I realize now how little of the world I have really seen, how few of the cultures I really know, how many millions and millions and millions of people and experiences and moments and adventures there are still to be created. And I want to walk across Germany and Austria and Sweden and Switzerland. I still haven't done Machu Picchu. I would like to do some adventures in Africa. There's an endless supply of opportunity to still to be had by me and all of us.
Well, remember next time, don't forget to invite me, please. You've already done this once.
Ian, the people that live in Europe are so blessed. Honestly, they are. And I'm going to share this number one reason why. For me to have traveled to this amazing continent, it took a long time on an airplane to get there. But just even in England, when you guys are separated just a little bit over to the left, you're still so close to some of the greatest cities in the world, not only London, but Rome and Athens and Barcelona. I mean, the fact that the people that live in England are so close to being able to see the world's history, the most beautiful in food and in art and in culture and in people. It's truly a privilege to be a European resident because you have access to so much.
You're dead right. And I guess we don't take advantage of it, really. I know some do, but UK, we tend to just go to France and Spain, to be honest. A little bit of Italy, I guess, is getting more popular. But yeah, we don't do there's not many holiday destinations that are, in Germany, for instance, or Sweden or Norway. It just tends to be there. But I'm really interested in Japan. What were you doing in Japan? Because didn't you go, you walked, was it around it, Shawn?
Well, first off, Japan's, and I learned so much about Japan just being there. I mean, Japan's made up of thousands of islands. So there's this one particular island, it's called Shikoku, Japan. And I walked around the entire island, 750 miles. And there was this pilgrimage track, this trail up and down the steepest mountains I've ever climbed that led through 88 Buddhist temples. And it's a very sacred walk to do for a person of Japanese heritage. And as a part of this walk, which is far different than the walks that I've done across, for example, the Camino de Santiago, you become what's called a henro, Henro, henro. And you put on this traditional white jacket, which means that you're on this adventure, this pilgrimage, and it could be for different reasons. And as I walked this 750 miles, 48 days, I've never met such amazing kindness from the heart for people, because when they recognize that you're a henro, that you had this backpack on, people that couldn't even communicate to me in English would come up to me and give me gifts, would give me candy. The poorest people around would give me their lunches, would give me whatever. One particular man came up and gave me, which was $50 in American dollars, because he was just so grateful. Part of their culture, part of their religion, and part of their belief is to support and be so open about showing gratitude for these henros. And my heart was so touched, and I truly learned the word gratitude. I mean, I've often thought England was the most friendly country around. You can get lost at a gas station and a guy will get in his car and he'll say, "Follow me," even though it's like 10 kilometers out of his way. And I have always applauded that about the English. But after having done this 48 days in Japan, every single day I was met with this overwhelming gift giving 2 or 3 times a day. It was beautiful.
What you could say is that they've gone the extra mile. So that's a beautiful segue into what you've created this extra mile a day. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I truly believe that if people want to live a different sort of life, it doesn't matter if you're a businessman and you want more success. It doesn't matter if you're a husband and you want to create a better relationship with your spouse. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over. Because if you do, you just keep getting the same results. It becomes predictable. Life becomes predictable. But it's when we choose to do more, give more, be more, when we choose to go the extra mile, that new opportunity and possibility opens up. And so this extra mile theme has not only become my way of life, but it's become my message in my writing and my speaking.
So from you, Shawn, is that your calling now to share that passion?
Man, absolutely. I mean, if you're going to be here, why not be passionate about this opportunity, and why not be purposeful in what your intention is going to be? I mean, for us to continue just to float down the river of life like a twig down the river, just being taken by the current, man, you don't have to live that way if you don't want to. But if you imagine you have a canoe and you've got the paddles and you can go to the left side and to the right side and back and forth through life, man, it becomes much more powerful.
So what's the message, Shawn? What can we do today to listeners to get them to do more, to take that first step, to get in the canoe and pick the paddle up? What can they do? How do they get there?
Ask themselves a simple question, what do I want more of in life? What do I want more of? Because you can't ever create a great life unless you know what that life looks like. And unless you answer that question, Ian, you can never really create a great life. You've got to know what it is that you want. Without knowing what we want, we're just like random walkers through life. We just continue to walk in circles around the mountains.
Yeah. So what happens when people don't want to ask them that question, and maybe that they're a bit lost? And can you help them at all, or is it like that? You can take a horse to water kind of scenario.
Well, I wish that I had the Harry Potter magic wand, and I wish that I could, truly just fire a few inspirational words and pats on the back, and you go, Ian, you go, to someone. But I don't have that kind of magic power. But we all have that magic power inside us to empower ourselves. But, that's the greatest challenge in life, to empower ourselves. If someone doesn't choose to be empowered or encouraged or to take the action steps necessary to create that in their life, there's very little you and I can do. We can plant seeds, we can water seeds that have once been planted, but we certainly can't create change in another human being.
We've often said on this show that it's the starting that's the hard thing. Would you agree?
Oh my gosh, absolutely, right? I mean, I don't know if you're an exerciser, but the hardest part of exercising, if you're going out on a big thing, is putting on your shoes and walking out the door. I mean, but once you start creating that little mojo, it's like anything. Once you start creating momentum, you go, okay, I can do this. I'm feeling good. The attitude gets in the right place. You start putting one foot in front of the other. It's like put one foot in front of the other. And you just keep going. You just keep doing a little bit more. If you're doing push-ups, you do, okay, let's just start with 5. You can do this. Let's do 5. And then you get 6 and 7 and 10. That's just the way it works. Create mojo. If you're not inspired, find the simplest, tiniest little act and just set your goal on that. And then once you do that, go to the next one, and then the next one, and they keep building. And pretty soon, you've just walked a mile.
It's really interesting you said that. I've got a little protege. So my son, he's 13, and he's doing press-ups. He's doing 2 minutes of press-ups every evening, and he's recording how many he can do. And last week, 30, 37, 41. He's just came in today. Dad, I did 63 press-ups just then. I'm like, wow. But we went for a run on Saturday morning, and we did a 5K run, and his mind was gone. About a mile away, his mind had just gone, and I was trying to tell him about, your body could literally run for another 30K if you wanted it to. It's just your mind you've got to get over.
Yes.
And once he got over that, it was amazing to see him how he just changed. He kind of understood and he got it. And I just said, look, switch off your mind, think about something else. Your body will take you through. And so it's amazing to sort of have a boy where I can kind of coach him. I'm living my life through him now.
Well, that's really awesome, and you've planted some amazing seeds. It's obvious that he recognizes this ability to keep getting better and better, and he set these target goals for himself to keep pushing. And Ian, you're so absolutely right that all of our success or all of our failure, it simply begins in our mind, because our thoughts are the thinking that we've programmed that computer on our shoulders to regurgitate over and over. That affects our feelings, and our feelings are what affect our actions. And when we can learn to reprogram our thinking that changes our feelings, then we have a chance to change our actions.
Yeah, I love that. So you've wrote some books, Shawn. Is this the content of your books? Is that what it's about?
Yeah, I'm one of those guys that has a mission in life, Ian. I mean, my mission is to empower 1 million people to lead a more passionate, positive, and purposeful existence. So everything that I do, from my writing to my speaking to this, sharing this time with you, I mean, it's what my mission is. And when one has a mission in life, it makes all of our big decisions and little decisions much easier in life, because you just say, how does that relate to my mission? If your mission is what empowers you, your mission is your juice. It's your mission. Your mission is what makes you feel good. It's what brings out the best in you. And the more dedicated and purposeful you are in following your mission, I think not only the richer your own life becomes in amazing ways, but the richer that you can help other people's lives become too.
So that was it, 1 million people. How are you literally recording this?
If I followed your son's example, I would absolutely be tallying this. But I'm asked this question often. Well, where are you in that regard? And I could certainly measure it by the size of my audience and the number of times I spoke, and I could measure by the number of books I've sold, the number of subscribers I have, but I don't. Every single day, Ian, I start at 0 and I say, what can I do today to get 1 million? And maybe if I keep walking my walk and walking my talk, maybe someday I might get 1 million in a day.
You might have even amassed it already. You never know. So think about your books though. I mean, you've sold like thousands, tens of thousands of books, yeah?
75,000 books.
Oh my word. Come on. Wowzers. Well done. So you've got that. You've done your speaking gigs. You're on podcasts. I mean, we've probably got about 1 million listens to this alone today. So you've smashed that target.
Well, I just applaud people like you, honestly. I mean, it took a lot of effort. First off, it took vision for you to want to do a podcast, number one. It took overcoming fear, because there's no doubt, as a human being, you're thinking, oh my gosh, can I do this? Can I continue to create content? What will I talk about? Will it be successful? What will other people think? You overcame that fear. And now you've created a vehicle for people to tie into, to empower and make their lives more amazing. So it's people like you that really help empower me and motivate me, and people like you, Ian, that set the example for me just to keep on seeing how much more I can get out of myself.
Well, thanks very much. And likewise, I'd love to do some of your walks with you. But what's really interesting is that I guess it gets quite addictive. And looking at your walks, I think I could be right. So basically what you're saying is that I've started this podcast, and yes, it was daunting, and yes, you get imposter syndrome, but you've done it. Now, for me, it's what can I do next? What other fears can I knock down? So do you find the same? As I say, you've kind of done the Spain, you've done the Portugal. Are you always looking now to keep knocking down those potential concerns?
I think as I've gotten older, and I'm 54 now, I think I don't base the success of my life anymore on what next I might achieve. I think that I found a really peaceful, harmonious place that this is so Eckhart Tolle-ish, and I don't mean to really be cliche, but honestly, there's so many remarkable things about life every single day that I just have reason to celebrate and love life. I mean, for example, today there's, I'm out walking, and there's a 500,000 pound piece of aluminum metal carrying 600 passengers flying 5 miles above me. I mean, that's remarkable. The fact that you and I, you are thousands of miles away from me right now, the fact that we are each on these computers communicating through, this amazing communication systems that I couldn't even begin to understand, that is remarkable. The fact that today I will take 24,000 breaths without even knowing it, that's remarkable. So I'm really tied into this whole God, there's so much remarkable about me. I mean, about life, that it doesn't always have to be about me and what I achieve next. Remarkable's all around us if we just open our eyes. And the more that we see remarkable, I really feel the more remarkable our own lives become.
Well, I totally agree. And thinking, like, I love legacies, all right? And looking at your extra mile day, can you talk us through that? Because that's something that you've pushed and inspired thousands around the world. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Okay, so it was in 2009, and I was just really starting to break into my form, as a potential inspirational, motivational guy. I really felt like I all I wanted to do was be a battery charger of the human spirit for other people. So I created this tour in America called the Extra Mile America Tour. And in 2009, what was going on in America and around the world was really desperate times. People were losing their homes left and right. The banks were closing. The stock market in America and around the world had just crashed. And there was a desperation, a feeling of hopelessness that was really going on. And I felt that people really started to lose hope. They lost hope in themselves, in their friends, in their bosses, in the government. They started looking at the government saying, what are you going to do to create some sort of program to help me stay on my feet and to make my life better? They would look at their boss and saying, what are you going to do to make sure that our business stays afloat and we don't lose our job? And so people started losing this. I felt this basic concept that if you truly want to make your life better, Ian, you don't look to the government and you don't look to your boss and you don't look to your spouse or to your friends and say, what are you doing? But you look at the man and the woman in the mirror and say, what are you doing? So I wanted to use my small voice and remind people that if you really want to create difference in your community, in your life, in your family's life, in the world, don't keep doing the same thing, but go the extra mile. So at that time, in a Forrest Gump sort of way, I got on my bicycle and I created this event across America over 48 days called the Extra Mile America Tour. And I created events, my staff created events in 21 cities where I had the privilege of speaking to over 200 individuals one-on-one to find out what they had done that was so amazing to have gone the extra mile. I mean, these had been pre-identified people that were doing unbelievable things. And then after the tour, I gave away $10,000 of my own money to the stories that were most inspiring. I was going across the state of Nevada, which is at the very beginning, and there's a stretch of 60 miles that I'm pedaling across the desert, and it's like 110 degrees, and I'm sweating, and I'm breathing hard, and I'm, probably hallucinating from the heat, and I'm going, what else can we do to make this, to get some media attention? And that's when I came up with this idea called Extra Mile Day, November 1st. I just like the concept of 1-1-1. And on that day, mayors across America were going to recognize their superstars, their extra mile heroes who are doing amazing things in volunteerism and service. On November 1st, 2009, the very first year when I pedaled across America, I was elated that 23 American mayors celebrated Extra Mile Day. I'm humbled by the fact that on November 1st, 2016, there were 560 cities that celebrated Extra Mile Day in America.
Wowzers.
It's a reminder sometimes that if we listen to the whispers inside us, if we listen to these whispers and we just act on these whispers, things are going to grow from our lives bigger than we could have even envisioned.
So we're coming up to October 1st.
November 1st.
November 1st, okay.
1-1-1, yeah.
1-1-1, sorry, my maths. So what have you got in store?
Well, Extra Mile Day continues to grow, and I think right now we're about at 400 in some cities that have joined the campaign, and in the next couple of weeks we're going to expect another few hundred. And I think we'll definitely approach. We'll definitely break the record in America this year. And so these are cities all across America that are taking the time to identify their local heroes, the unsung heroes, the volunteers, the companies, the individuals that are doing more unselfishly to better the world. And we've created a platform for them to clap for their local heroes.
What is it? I'm really intrigued about this. So what is the platform? What happens?
Well, it's different for every single city. Some cities might at their city council meetings, their town hall meetings or whatever, they might have recognized these people and they might stand up and give them, a shout out. There might be special celebrations in one city of America. There's a special walkway, and each year these Americans get their names on bricks on this special little walkway. Each city is completely different in how they want to celebrate their people. The United States is 50 different states. Each of those states have such a difference and an independence in a way that they want to live that's so much differently, much like the countries in England. So every city celebrates and recognizes their locals as they choose fit. We've just created the vehicle. We've created the reason. We've created the impetus to say, what are you doing to celebrate your local heroes?
I think we need to get this across the pond, Shawn.
Well, Ian, man, you're the guy, right? You're the guy.
Right. Okay. I'll start. I'll franchise it across here. Okay.
That's right.
Do you know what it is? I love this. I was sat in the pub on Saturday night and we were talking about a postman. Okay, a postman in our town who goes above and beyond the call of duty. Okay. I'll give you an example. On a Christmas time, flowers were delivered and then sent to the postal depot, and he knew these flowers would die over the Christmas period, and he hand-delivered the flowers, got in his car and drove. So this guy just goes above and beyond, but there's no kind of recognition for these people who do that, these kind of local heroes.
Well, that's right. Well, this guy deserves a shout-out. What's his name?
Brian. There you go.
Man, Brian, way to set the bar for us and go the extra mile. That's so awesome. And now, Brian, we've recognized Brian as this amazing superstar volunteer hero person that does more than what he would normally do. And it's people like Brian, honestly, that fill our hearts with like this, wow, life is really cool. There's so much bad news that hits us all the time. Every single day, you can turn on the news in the United States and maybe England, and there's just bad news. But it's people like Brian, honestly, that remind us about humanity and that people care and people serve. And so, you know what, Brian, you are an extra mile European and world superstar hero. Way to go.
UK's first.
UK.
We need a brick now. I'm gonna get a hammer and a chisel and I'll brick them.
yeah. Way to go, Brian. UK rules.
So I'm gonna put you on the spot here. So thinking about some powerful lessons you can leave our listeners with. What could you leave us with something that they could do? I know we've discussed about, it's one life and you've got to go for it and no one else can. But is there any little tips or tricks, or is that?
Oh my gosh, we could talk for 17 hours on that, no doubt. I mean, let's see. The number one thing I believe to creating a great life is simply the addition of thousands of great days. So there's nothing I can do right now about creating a great life, but what I can do is create a great day. Now, I start creating a great day from the very, very beginning. I control absolutely everything that goes on that very first hour of my day because remember, it's all about creating that mojo. Ask myself 3 morning questions. Number 1, what am I excited about today? God, what's one thing I'm excited about today? Well, this morning was easy. Man, I get to talk to the people in England on this amazing guy show, Ian. So there we go. I'm excited about today. Number 2, who can I serve today? Well, you know what? I identified someone that I'm going to write a powerful, encouraging, motivational email and say, man, I believe in you. You got this. You can do that. That's who I can serve. Number 3, what am I grateful for? Wow, I am grateful that this morning I took this amazing walk, got to breathe fresh air. So right there, I started my day. What am I excited about? Who can I serve? What am I grateful for? So you start your day with starting to think the right things, then you start to feel the right things. And you remember our little formula, you start to do the right things. At the end of today, when I lay my head down on my pillow, I would have created a great day. I continue to do that day in after day out for the rest of my life. And I can assure you that I would have created a great life.
Wow, man. I need to keep going. This is excellent. So, those was it 3 questions? Yeah. Okay. Is this something that we can include in like a journal that you mentioned? So could we start the day off with that journal and ask ourselves those?
Why not? Why not? And there you go. That's Ian's success formula right there. Start your day off by writing in a journal and ask yourself 3 questions. That's Ian's philosophy on how to create a great day.
And then what about what about the end of the day? Then would you say yes, I've achieved those three things that I wanted to get achieved?
I'm
Or
really big at the end of the day on getting set for the morrow. So not only do I say thank you, I mean, first off, I say thank you for every good thing that went on and every bad thing that went on. I truly do, because then if I say thank you to some of the bad things, they're never so bad that never weaken me so much that they never stifle me and cause me to not want to take risks anymore. But then all of a sudden I say, what would I like to do tomorrow? So before I wake up, I even have an intention of what my day is going to be like tomorrow. I just don't randomly start shooting at my day every day. I know what my intention for tomorrow is when I lay down and go to bed, because then that gives me like your son, that man, I'm at 30 tomorrow, I'm going for 37 type thing. It can just be that one simple thing. Tomorrow I'm going to take an hour and go for a walk. Tomorrow, I'm going to call my friend who I've wished that I would have been calling for the last 6 months. Tomorrow, I'm going to push myself a little bit harder at work. I'm going to make 52 phone calls instead of 45 phone calls. You know what I'm going to do tomorrow? I'm going to make sure to buy flowers for my wife for no absolute reason. You know what I'm going to do tomorrow? Man, I'm going to try to go. I am going to make sure that when I go grocery shopping, I'm going to ask the checker about her day and see how she was doing. So every single day, I have an intention that was preset the day before.
This flowers thing.
Uh-oh. If Mrs. Ian's listening, you are now in trouble.
So Mrs. F, what she does is she goes to the store, buys all the groceries, buys herself some flowers, comes home, shows me, then says, "Thank you, you just bought me these."
Well, she's going the extra mile for you. There you got your extra mile partner. But oh my God.
So I need to change this up and buy them.
Could you imagine how you might shock the entire world if you beat her the punch and said, "Hey, these flowers actually are for me, and it's because I love you and you're so amazing."
Okay, right. I'm writing this down. Flowers tomorrow. Now you see, I've had a pretty bad day today, actually. I've had a bit of a really stressful day, and I'm feeling pumped, and it's all because of you. So thank you very much, Shawn.
That's a great example. If you want your life to be more vibrant, go hang around more vibrant people. If you feel like you need some more sadness in your life, go hang around sad people. If you want to be more angry than you already are, go hang around angry people. We are who we hang around.
Yeah, yes, we've heard it many times. The average of the 5 people, aren't you? So yeah, and it's interesting. You might have heard Gary Vee talking about ditching some friends, and he said it's tough to do, but have a look at it. Why not? If someone's bringing you down and they're not for you, sack one of your friends.
I agree. No, I agree. I mean, why would I would ask you, okay, let's say, Ian, that you're going to go have a few beers at the pub with this guy, and every single time you leave going, "Holy criminy, why did I do that?" Then let's just ask you that. Why did you do that? Why? I mean, when people ask them, why do I keep doing what causes me pain or anguish or whatever? I mean, you're doing it to yourself. Why do you keep doing that?
Yeah, no, that's a great point. So, Bing, if you're listening, I'm going to sack you as a friend, and I'll see you on the other side.
Oh, my God, I hope.
No, he's a lovely lad, actually. I do surround myself with good people. So this guy in question, we're going off topic here a little bit, but this guy's a social worker. And what I love about this is that he comes home and having worked with the elderly, people who've paid the dues, and I hear some great stories about their lives, and it's so sort of motivating, actually, when he comes back and tells me how his day's been.
Well, all of us need to have that little motivator. When it's like a car. If a car's battery's dead, what do? You hook it up to another car that's battery's alive, right? So we all need a battery charger of the human spirit. Sometimes we all need to connect with someone who charges us up, because if you're running through life with a dead battery, how in the world are you ever going to smile?
You're dead right. So I'm hoping people are fired up listening to this, because I certainly am. So, Shawn, I'm just looking at the time. You need to tell people where we can find you.
Oh my gosh. Well, you know what? If you want to find me, find Ian's broadcast there, and then click on the link, and then you'll find Shawn and Ian together, because both of us together are certainly better than each of us individually. But if you just want to hang out with me a little bit and check out what I'm about, go to ShawnAnderson.com, ShawnAnderson.com. And if you really felt like you got just a minor bit inspired today, every single Thursday for the last 294 weeks in a row, I put out something called Inspiration Thursday. It's a short little message that pulls you or pushes you up your own gold mountain. It's never about sales. It's always about you. and helping you live the life that you love.
Excellent stuff. So I'm going to leave my email address on ShawnAnderson.com. Is that right?
Yeah, there's a little place that you can jump on in as a subscriber, and then all of a sudden next Thursday you're going to get a message.
Amazing. And I need to read your book as well, yeah?
There's an ebook download. It's called A Better Life, an inspiring story about starting over. And it's about a guy who gets fired from his job. He's lived a super mediocre life forever, and he goes into complete state of depression going, oh my God, what am I going to do next? Until he meets a character named Amicus. And Amicus teaches him 21 life lessons that changes him from the inside out. It might be a book that you might want to download. I think it's available on Amazon Kindle right now for 99 cents.
Wowzers, I'm doing it. Excellent stuff. So I could also look out my window and see if you're walking past, because you've been everywhere. So you might be walking past one day. But if not, I'd love to meet in person. So maybe when I'm walking past your door, we'll hook up.
Awesome. And who knows? There's so many great walks in England. I have no doubt that I'll be walking back. I just pray to God that the weather actually is good weather. And you guys have hearts and souls of determination, because anybody that can live through those windstorms and rainstorms up there, I'm just going, you guys are giants.
Well, the kettle is on, brother, for a cup of tea when you come past.
A cup of tea. Awesome.
Shawn, you've been amazing, and thanks so much for your time, and we shall see you soon.
Ian, create a great day, create a great life.
That was the gentleman, Shawn Anderson. So my wish for this episode is for you guys to be inspired, to seize the day. We know this life isn't forever, but do we ever truly get off that hamster wheel and think about it? I certainly don't want to be sitting on my porch and wondering what if. We can share episodes like this, but there's only you that can take action. There's only you that can write down your goals. And what's the worst that could happen? I've got 2 goals that I'm planning at the moment, and every day I'm chipping away at them, polishing it up, making little plans. So remember Shawn's question. Ask yourself, what do you want to do in life? Take the time out for you. Go and sharpen your axe. If you can't walk for miles like Shawn, why not download meditation apps such as Headspace or Calm and take time for you, clear your mind. We're in this together. So head over to industryangel.com. My email and social links are there. I want to know what action you've taken from today. If you've never dropped me a line, make that action. Do it. I want to hear from you. I want to know your goals. You're part of this community, and go the extra mile. Until next time, I'm Ian Farrer. This is the Industry Angel, and thanks for listening.